Your phone feels personal, but invisible rulebooks are quietly choosing everything you see. Open an app and it feels tailored to you. That sense of magic comes from algorithms. Step-by-step rules computers follow to pick what appears on your screen. Think of them as invisible editors reading your clicks, pauses, and searches. They convert behavior into predictions, then use those predictions to decide what to show next. That setup sounds useful, but it creates patterns you don't always notice, patterns we should pull apart next. What is an algorithm in plain terms? Picture a recipe. Ingredients include your clicks, location, device, and the pool of available posts. The algorithm mixes those ingredients through rules and outputs a feed or recommendation. In email, a spam filter follows its recipe to move messages into junk. In maps, a routing algorithm weighs distance and traffic to pick a route. The recipe image helps, but the next question is what these recipes optimize for. Platforms all share one hidden priority: attention. More time on site equals more ad views and revenue. So feeds get tuned to keep you scrolling. They collect the possible posts you might see, read tens of signals about each one, predict which posts you'll engage with, then rank them to maximize those predicted outcomes. That sounds surgical, but it also creates incentives that shape what gets surfaced and what fades away. Quick, real examples make it concrete. Netflix predicts what you'll watch next and places that tile front and center. TikTok mixes user interactions and device settings to seed its For You page. Search engines crawl and index the web, then rank pages by relevance. Each system follows different goals. Video platforms chase watch time. Search engines chase quick answers. Those differing goals explain why feeds and search results behave so differently, and why design choices matter. Here's a twist many miss. Prediction creates feedback loops. If you click cat videos, the system shows more cats. More cats means you click more, and the loop tightens. That amplifies early signals and buries other content. Creators who catch early momentum skyrocket, while newcomers struggle. These loops can be productive, but they can also narrow what you see. So what happens when bias slips into the training data? The next section explains. Bias creeps in through data and design. Algorithms learn from historical patterns. If past data reflects inequality, the model can repeat it. A famous study found facial recognition worked much worse for darker-skinned women than for lighter-skinned men. In recommendations, bias shows as overexposure for popular creators and underexposure for marginalized voices. Even neutral signals can act as proxies for race, gender, or income. That raises ethical questions that platforms still struggle to answer. Filter bubbles and echo chambers follow from personalization. Over time, you see more of what aligns with your interests and beliefs. Research gives mixed answers on how extreme this effect is, but we know false or sensational content often spreads faster than true facts. One study tracked how false news travels farther and faster than truth on social networks. That means personalization can unintentionally push misleading ideas into wider circulation. Search engines take a different approach. Their core aim is relevance and usefulness, not maximum attention. They crawl the web, index pages, then rank results by hundreds of signals. Ranking factors include meaning, quality, freshness, and user experience. That's why authoritative pages often rank higher. But search can be gamed too. SEO firms and content farms attempt to trick ranking signals. Search providers constantly update algorithms to fight this, creating a moving target for creators and users alike. Then came AI assistants and generative models. Instead of a list of links, you may get a single synthesized answer. These models predict the most likely next words based on massive training data. They can summarize, draft, and recommend. The benefit is speed. The risk is confident but incorrect answers and the possibility of baked-in bias from training data. As these models plug into search and feeds, questions about citations and accountability grow louder. Transparency is limited. Platforms publish high-level explanations, but rarely disclose exact algorithms or weights. That secrecy protects intellectual property and prevents spamming. It also limits external scrutiny and public accountability. Regulators are pushing for more openness. Laws like the EU's Digital Services Act force some duties around assessing risks and sharing research access. Still, full transparency remains contested. Who should see what parts of an algorithm, and how much detail is safe to reveal? Control over algorithms sits at the intersection of incentives, product choices, and user behavior. Companies decide the objective: maximize watch time, reduce churn, or boost social interactions. Product teams select which signals matter. Creators and advertisers adapt to those signals, and users vote with attention. So, changing outcomes means changing incentives. That makes policy, business strategy, and design choices central players in how information flows on the internet. Real-world stories show impact. During the GameStop saga, algorithmic recommendations and trending mechanics magnified retail investor fervor. During the pandemic, some recommendation engines elevated sensational claims that undermined public health messages. Small platform changes can flip creator livelihoods overnight. A ranking tweak boosts short video formats and deprioritizes long-form creators. These examples show algorithms shape markets, politics, and livelihoods as much as individual feeds. Take charge of your data. Review and delete activity logs regularly. Use Google My Activity to clear searches and browsing. Limit personalized ads in device and account settings. Controlling the breadcrumbs you leave makes it harder for systems to lock you into narrow patterns. If you combine data hygiene with active curation, you can shift recommendations over a few weeks, not months. But you can also add positive friction to slow knee-jerk sharing. Add friction to your own sharing. Read articles before you retweet. Pause 30 seconds before posting to avoid emotional amplification. Those small habits reduce accidental spread of misinformation. Turn off autoplay and hide like counts if the platform allows. Use browser extensions to remove infinite scroll. These tiny design tweaks produce measurable drops in impulsive engagement and give you breathing room to think before you amplify content. Diversify your inputs on purpose. Follow a few credible sources you disagree with. Subscribe to newsletters and RSS feeds that bypass algorithmic curation. Try privacy-focused search engines occasionally. That intentional variety breaks reinforcement loops and surfaces viewpoints algorithms might bury. If you audit your feed monthly, you'll notice blind spots and can add 2 new quality sources to keep your information diet balanced. Those habits give you more control than passive scrolling ever will. Tools can help. Extensions can hide recommendation carousels and remove infinite scroll. Some apps let you hide like counts or pause autoplay. Use them when platforms don't offer the controls you want. But tools alone aren't a fix. They shift the environment for individual users, while systemic redesigns could change outcomes for everyone. So what would better systems look like? Let's sketch a practical set of improvements platforms and policymakers can adopt. Good system design starts with clear objectives beyond engagement. Platforms should optimize for quality, diversity, and well-being, not just time spent. Simple toggles should let users switch between personalized and chronological feeds. Explainability must improve. Users should get concise reasons for why a post appears in their feed. Public-facing model cards can describe intended use and limitations. These design shifts would make algorithms more accountable and easier for people to understand. Regulators are catching up. The EU's Digital Services Act forces large platforms to assess systemic risks and share more data with researchers. National rules and emerging AI governance regimes aim to set safety and transparency standards. Policy isn't a quick fix. It's a long negotiation between innovation, privacy, and public interest. Still, emerging rules show the world expects platforms to accept responsibility, and that shift could change incentives at scale. Quick mid-video recap. Algorithms are decision recipes built from signals and predictions. Social platforms prioritize attention, search prioritizes relevance, and AI assistants synthesize answers. Bias, manipulation, and opacity create real harms. You can act, reset histories, control data, diversify sources, and add friction. Systemic fixes matter too. Better objectives, transparency, audits, and regulation. Now let's close with what all this means for your everyday choices and digital life. The big takeaway: algorithms are design choices, not destiny. They reflect incentives. Change the incentives and you change outcomes. That means pressure on companies, smarter regulation, and better user habits can reshape your online world. You don't need perfect control to improve your feed. Small, consistent actions add up. If designers and policymakers adopt clearer objectives and more transparency, platforms can better serve people than profits. One final practical checklist: clear a platform history, turn off autoplay, follow 2 credible dissenting sources, install a scroll blocking extension, and audit your feed monthly. Do these 5 things and you'll immediately break predictable loops. Combine habits with advocacy for transparency, and you'll influence the bigger systems. Small personal changes scale when lots of people make them. That's how design evolves, through sustained user behavior and pressure. A short note on hope: these systems are human-made. That means they are fixable. Engineers, designers, policymakers, and users all influence outcomes. We've seen platforms change features and improve safety under public pressure. That doesn't solve every problem overnight, but it shows progress is possible. The more people understand how algorithms work, the stronger the demand for responsible design becomes, and that demand shapes the next generation of platforms. Before we finish, a quick thought experiment. Imagine your feed as a library. Right now, a few librarians pick books using popularity and ad revenue as their main criteria. What if librarians prioritize diversity, credibility, and user well-being instead? Your reading would change. So when you push for different objectives, you help redesign the librarian's rules. Small choices become collective force. That's where real agency lives. Wrap up. Algorithms curate your online life, but they don't determine it. They are recipes that businesses write and people teach with their attention. Use settings, habits, and tools to steer your experience. Demand clearer objectives and stronger oversight from platforms. Stay curious and keep asking why you see what you see. These are small acts with large consequences, and your attention is the lever. If this helped you see algorithms differently, hit like, subscribe for more explainers, and tell us one change you'll try in the comments. I'll read them.